Today, he and Niels, we are together in a podcast with a very special guest,
Dr. Sam
Osmanagich from Bosnia. He is the real expert on Bosnian pyramids and pyramids all over the world. He is also the discoverer even of the Bosnian pyramids.
The biggest pyramids in the world. Yeah, most people don't know this.
So he wrote a lot of books, about 20 books on ancient civilizations. It's really an honor for us to have him in the podcast.
And now we're going to talk the real truth. Huh?
And we are talking now about the physical pyramids. As you know, in the workshops, we are working a lot with the inner pyramids from our conscious, our mind. Not only the mind, of course, our whole subtle body is becoming a pyramid, the lifefullness matrix. We all know that is a very strong energy which brings us to
our inner self.
To our inner self, energies which can heal, energies which can give more insights. And I'm very curious now from Dr. Sam to hear, what is the relation with the real pyramids, the physical pyramids, not only the relation, their origin, who built the pyramids, and what is the impact of the pyramids on our present world.
Well,
that's
yes,
interesting, I think.
Indeed, yes, it's going to be very interesting. Grab your notebook, pen and paper, give a like, subscribe, join the tribe, because what we're about to discuss is our history, not his story, the fake history that everyone's learning.
Yeah, but the history.
The history.
The real history.
The real ancient wisdom.
Yes.
Let's get started.
Dr. Sam, very much welcome. Please introduce yourself. How do you become such an expert?
Yes, hello guys. Thank you very much for inviting me. This is our second meeting.
Yes.
The first one was in the real world.
Yes.
Now we are online. Well, I have been researching pyramids and megalithic sites on 6 continents for the last 40 years.
Okay.
And I have concluded that almost everything they teach us about the ancient history is wrong. The origin of man, civilizations, and pyramids. For us humans, the conventional science claims that we are product of the evolution. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, they said we were monkeys and at ape level, and today, after the evolutionary process, we became intelligent men. This is wrong. We are product of the genetical engineering happened 400,000 years back. Secondly, they teach us in schools that the first advanced society was the Sumerian civilization 6,000 years back. And that is wrong also. And they are saying after Sumerians, we have Babylon, Akkad, Assyria, Hittite, ancient Egypt, ancient India, ancient China, 5,000 years back and on. This is only the last civilizational cycle. Before this cycle, there was another one which ended 12,000 years back during the end of the last ice age. Yes. And before that one, another one, 18,500 years ago, 34,000 years ago, 55,000 and 75,000. Okay. So in the last 100,000 years, we have had 5 cycluses of civilization. So we simply live in the last cycle. Yes. And after this one, when we are gone, and it's going to happen rather soon, there will be another rise of humans, after our 5th cycle. And the last topic, man, civilization, pyramids. For pyramids, they program us in schools that pyramids were built in Egypt and Mexico, wrong, and that the pyramids in Egypt were used as tombs for the pharaohs, wrong. When it comes to the pyramids,
yes,
I have been searching and investigating pyramids on all 6 continents. In South America, there are 300 pyramids in Peru. There is the Acapena Pyramid Complex in Bolivia. In Central America, the Mayan civilization built over 100,000 pyramids. My PhD, my dissertation, is about the Mayan civilization. And they lived in the countries that we know today as Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Belize. 97% of their pyramids, their temples and palaces and platforms and bridges, they are still in the jungle, covered by forest. So we have uncovered only 3% of the Mayan pyramids.
Yes.
And did you go in these pyramids?
Of course. Now, you can climb the pyramids in most of the Mayan cities, but in the pyramids, the only place where you can actually enter the pyramid is in the Mayan city of Palenque, in the Mexican state of Chiapas. Under the pyramid, there is a tunnel, and you reach the sarcophagus of famous Mayan ruler, Lord Pakal, who lived in the 7th century, 1,400 years ago. And it is said that he lived 80 years. And when he completed his mission, he left. And when the archaeologists discovered the sarcophagus, they found the body of the 40 years old. So, whose body was there? That's still a big mystery. In the United States, there are many pyramids. They call them mounds. Mound is when you have soil as the construction material. However, the largest site with the pyramids is in the Cahokia National Park. There are remaining 120 pyramids in the southwestern portion of the state of Illinois. And there are some more mounds. For example, in Wisconsin, in the place called Aztalan, 3 remaining pyramids. Then we have pyramids in Texas, also in the national park. So until a few hundred years back, until white Europeans came, there are many pyramids, but they were destroyed mostly by the Smithsonian Institute. And then in Africa, we have, according to Wikipedia and non-scientific Encyclopedia Britannica, 118 pyramids. And that is wrong, because I have investigated more than 155 pyramids. And 28 biggest ones, stone pyramids that we called Cheops, Khafre, Mykerinos, 3 Sneferu pyramids, Djoser's, Kawara, Black pyramids, Bent pyramid in Dahshur, Red pyramid in Stone.
Most of those pyramids in Africa are in Sudan, besides Egypt?
No. So 155 of them are in Egypt. In northern Sudan, in the Nubian lands, there are 224 Nubian pyramids, and they are characteristic because the slope is about 70 degrees. And the Egyptian pyramids, they go anywhere from 28 to 64. For example, the Great Pyramid of Egypt is 52 degrees in slope. But then also we have pyramids on the island of Mauritius. That's in the Indian Ocean, 7 of them. That's eastern side of Africa. But then western side of Africa, on Canary Islands, we have 104 pyramids, most of them on Tenerife. Then in Asia, we have 250 pyramids in central province of Shanxi in China. The biggest one are 65 meters high, and all of them are still covered by soil, vegetation, and even forest, which was planted back in 1967 and later. In Cambodia, besides the famous Angkor Wat with the pyramidal temples, we have beautiful pyramid site called Koh Ker. Koh Ker pyramid is a 7-tier, 7-step pyramid. And then we have pyramids in Indonesia. Several of them The most exciting one is the one discovered by our friend, Dr. Danny Hillman, who discovered the pyramid called Gunung Padang,
Okay.
the Hill of Light.
Mm.
And he did the radiocarbon dating on organic material discovered inside the chamber, and the age 28,500 years old. And then in Australia, on eastern coast, there was a pyramid in the town of Gympie. It was actually shaped hill in 4 sides, triangular faces with the megaliths on the top and 4 megaliths on 4 sides, cardinal points. Unfortunately, the Australian government destroyed this pyramid in 2022, last year, because they were building the highway. Actually, they wanted to hide the history.
Yeah, yes.
And finally, on European continent, we have 3 Palencia pyramids, not Valencia, Palencia with the P. Actually, the 3rd pyramid was destroyed 15 years ago, but 2 pyramids, 74 meters in height, still remain. But it is forbidden to investigate them. In Italy, most of them are on the island of Sicily, 43 pyramids built from the volcanic stone, and 1 pyramid on Sardinia, step pyramid. In ancient Greek territories, mostly the islands, there were 16 pyramids, smaller ones, but they were all built before the era of the ancient Greek civilization, more than 2,800 years back.
Yeah, yeah.
And finally, we have pyramids in Bosnia. You know, traveling the world, investigating the pyramids, writing about them. When I came to Bosnia in April of 2005, the reason to go to the town of Visoko in central Bosnia were not pyramids. I went there to see the local museum. And when I saw this hill, which everybody called natural hill because it was covered by soil and bushes and forests, when I saw its geometry, it was clear to me that it was an artificial structure. Why am I saying this? Because I could see 4 sides. I could see 4 triangular faces. I could see 4 corners. And the same slope from bottom to the top. So it was perfect geometrical shape.
Yeah.
At that time, I took compass, and compass showed me that those 4 sides perfectly match the cardinal points, east, west, north, and south. And this is how the pyramids were built in China, Indonesia, Cambodia, Egypt, Sudan.
Well,
It's incredible. And they are, again, in line with the ley lines, probably.
Now,
Those sides.
during our investigation, we have concluded that there are many elements that are common for pyramids in different parts of the world. Ley lines is one of the elements. So what are the common elements for the pyramids? Number 1 is geometry. They are usually 4-sided pyramids. Number 2 is the orientation to the north. All Chinese pyramids looking to the cosmic north. Cambodia, Indonesia, Egypt, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, or Cheops, or Khufu, has an arrow from the perfect north of 0 degrees and 3 minutes. I mean, it's genius. The Khafre, or Khafren Pyramid, 0 degrees, 3 minutes. Mykerinos, 0 degrees, 18 minutes. Bent Pyramid in Dahshur, 0 degrees, 12 minutes. A red pyramid in Dahshur, beautiful, my favorite, 0 degrees, 5 minutes. So it's almost perfect. But the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun has an error of 0 degrees, 0 minutes, 12 seconds. This is the most precise orientation on the planet. How do we know that? Because we have a team of 3 engineers of geodesy who brought the scientific instruments called total station. They connected to the satellites and they got this orientation. So orientation is important element. The next important element are the construction artificial materials. For example, in Peru, they used adobe bricks. In Guatemala, shaped volcanic stones because they have 30 volcanoes over there. In Mexico, they use sandstone and granite. In Egypt, they used limestone and granite. In Bosnia, they used artificially made concrete.
Okay.
Next element for the pyramids is underground tunnels. Under the Giza plateau, we have 4 levels of those underground tunnels. Unfortunately, Egyptologists did not open them for the public. Why? Because they are extremely old, much older than 4,500 years. And they tried to convince us that those pyramids were built 4,500 years ago. They were built much, much before, and not by the pharaohs. The next elements are inner passageways and chambers inside the pyramids. There are such chambers in Egyptian pyramids, under the pyramids in China, under the pyramids in Mexico, and so on. So we have also, by using scanning methods, we have learned that there are passageways in the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, and it's laid out like a spiral going towards the top. The next elements for the pyramids are the energy sources, sources of natural energy materials. For example, under the Bosnian pyramids, we have huge iron ore. Iron generates electromagnetic field. The pyramid pulls this field up, amplifying it. The next element, I can see that quartz crystal was used everywhere: Indonesia, China, Mexico, Bosnia, Egypt, and so on. Where do you find quartz crystal? In sandstone, in limestone, in granite. These are always source for the pyramid builders. And then the next element, you mentioned it, ley lines. What are the ley lines? These are underground energy lines. They are usually, they are running east-west, north-south, and diagonal. So they are straight lines. According to some, the ley lines has the cosmic origin. So, when the cosmic radiations come, hitting the ground and underground, those ley lines are formed. But why they are important? Because when you build the pyramid, or when you build the dome, or when you build the tumulus, the conical artificial hill, they amplify the energy of those ley lines.
That's exactly.
So, for example, this phenomenon is very well researched in England, and they have concluded that majority of their cathedrals, churches, and ancient megalithic sites were built on those ley lines. So if you draw the straight line, and you will see that major monuments like Stonehenge, Avebury Circles, Glastonbury Tower, several St. Michael's cathedrals are built on these perfectly straight lines. Now, today, they are mostly churches. But before, the church builders, they destroyed already existing paganic temples. And those paganic temples were built on even older megalithic sites. But the first builders were the smartest, because they knew where is the energy potent place under the ground. So the ley lines are important. And there are a few more elements that nobody else considers but us. For example, volcanic lines. What is the volcanic line? When you connect 2 volcanoes with a line, this is the volcanic line, very simple. And if the pyramid is sitting on this line, then pyramid is on volcanic line. Why is that important? Well, volcano, it means lava, iron, minerals, energy. It has always been about the energy when it comes to the pyramids. We have analyzed 75 megalithic and pyramid sites around the world on 6 continents. from Machu Picchu and Mexican pyramids to China, Australia, Africa, and so on. And we have concluded that pyramids were always built on many intersections of volcanic lines. For example, the Great Pyramid in Cholula, in Mexican state of Puebla, that is the largest Mexican pyramids when it comes to surface, is built on intersection of 16 volcanic lines. Or Great Zimbabwe, that's in the country of Zimbabwe. These are conical towers built with the megalithic stones. They were built on intersection of 7 volcanic lines. The Bosnia and on Machu Picchu, the famous site in eastern Peru, 15 volcanic lines. And the Bosnian pyramids were built on intersection of 26 volcanic lines. So you see how the ancients were very careful where they're going to build their monuments. So what did they get by building those monuments on energy lines? Well, the pyramids amplify the energy. How do we know that? Because we have measured. In the case of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, we measure it at the base and at the top. At the top, the energy is 50 times stronger. So the pyramid is an energy amplifier. Very important element is the water. You know how the pyramids in Egypt were built by the river Nile, the largest African river. The major rivers in Mexico, China, Peru, near the pyramids. Well, in Bosnia, in the town of Visoko, we have 2 major rivers, which we call the river Fojnica and river Bosna. River Bosna is the largest Bosnian river, and the civilizations were always living near such huge rivers. But also, when water is running, it is kinetic energy. It starts the energy movement. It releases the negative ions. And as we know, the negative ions are the major element for the healing. They are so beneficial.
They're also in the tunnels, right?
Yes, so the tunnels are so important. I mentioned the tunnels under the Giza Plateau, under the Chinese pyramids, under the Mexican pyramids, like in the state of, in the city of Palenque. The tunnels are under all the pyramids. In Palenque, 25 pyramids have been uncovered from the forest and soil. But originally there was 1,229 pyramids in Palenque and the pyramidal platforms, all of them connected by underground tunnels. But in Bosnia, what we have is the most extensive underground tunnel network ever. You guys visited the Ravne tunnels. Over there,
the energy is very high. The Bovis value is very high.
Yes. So over there, we have cleared 2.7 kilometers of prehistorical tunnels. And from 2005, when we discovered the first tunnel, until 2023, we discovered total of 7 entrances to underground tunnels. Just 10 days ago, we discovered another tunnels in our beautiful park. So we call them Ravne, Ravne 2, Ravne 3, Ravne 4, Ravne 5, Ravne 6, KTK tunnels. So we suspect that more than 100 kilometers of underground tunnels were built on several different levels. So far, we discovered entrances to 2 different levels. So what do we have now besides this common element? So we conclude pyramids amplify the energy. But in Bosnia, it is not only one pyramid. We have Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, which is, according to the latest LiDAR measurements. LiDAR is special laser-like equipment. You fly over the Pyramid Valley in Bosnia, you shoot those laser beams, and the laser rays, they go in between the leaves, in between the branches.
Yeah.
So even though you have forest there, the laser hit the ground, and we know exactly how the terrain looks like and what is the real height of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, because we can now remove the layer of greenery and forest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, which is considered for the longest time the biggest pyramid ever, has a height of 146.6 meters. 146 meters. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, 368 meters. So this is by far the largest on the planet.
Largest on the planet, and I think it's also the oldest on the planet.
Now,
at least that
you
know.
are right. You are right. In archaeology, we have 5 questions. The first question is what? What we have in the town of Visoko is the pyramid complex. We have 6 pyramids, the tumulus, the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
The second question is who? Well, we know now that it was very advanced civilization. How do we know that? Because they had to manipulate with the tens of millions of tons of material. They were making the best quality concrete. They made the most precise orientation on the planet. The next question is when?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can determine the age using 3 methods in science. The first one is called radiocarbon dating. You find organic material and you can date it. The second one is called uranium-thorium analysis. It can also date organic material, but also it can date stalagmites, retreated. The third method is called luminescence analysis. When you uncover the structure, then you can take the samples and they will tell you when was the last time when the sun rays hit the pyramid. So those are 3 common methods. We can apply 2 of them, radiocarbon, uranium-thorium, and we did 28 different analyses of organic material. The age of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is 29,200 years plus minus 400 years. So we go back for 30,000 years, and now we change everything. All the history books have to be changed from little Bosnia and Balkan and Europe and the whole world. Humanity is much older than what they've been telling us.
Absolutely. And you know what is also very interesting? That the tunnels were being closed by another civilization about 5,000 years ago.
You are completely right.
Yeah.
We have mystery after mystery. First, we discovered so many entrances, but they were all closed completely. So the civilization who built the huge tunnel network is 30,000 years old, because when they were removing the material while building the tunnels, that was pebbles, rocks, and sand. They used that material to make concrete blocks and cover the Bosnian pyramids. So we have tunnels now. But then second civilization came, and for some reason, they decided to close all the tunnels. They brought a lot of sand and rocks. They closed the tunnels, all of them, huge labyrinth, and they built drywalls. Drywall is when you use rocks, one on top of each other, but you don't use binding materials. But those drywalls are very compact, so whoever made them, they did excellent job. So 2 civilizations before us. So what we do now, we remove drywalls and we remove the filler material and clean those tunnels, put the wooden support for the safety, put the light, and we keep moving towards the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun.
Yes.
To go in the chamber.
Yeah. Yes. So if I understand also, let's say if you're looking only to the Pyramid of the Sun, of course, during the time, there are different civilizations who have used it. But also, if you are looking more widely around the earth, there are so many pyramids probably also being built by different builders, different civilizations, and they are coming probably outside our known earth, extraterrestrial. So probably in their own planets, they have also pyramids. How do you see the interaction between all these different planets, not only on our planet, but also outside our planet?
You know, traveling around the world, this is what I concluded. The first pyramids, the oldest pyramids, were at the same time the biggest and the most superior.
Yeah.
And this is not logical. They teach us in schools that before we were primitive, caveman people, not capable of building anything, and today we are the most intelligent, the most advanced, and the most beautiful. Well, we are not.
No.
You go to China, 20 biggest pyramids are the oldest, 12,500 years old, built from the sandstone and granite. And those that came later, from 2,300 years ago, Emperor Qin, until 1,000 before present, they were built from the mud bricks. Mud bricks.
Yeah.
That's inferior material. You would expect that before it was small, later big, superior. No, it's opposite. The same thing goes for Mayan civilization, the same thing goes for Egyptian pyramids, same thing goes for Bosnian pyramid. And what does it tell me?
Yeah.
It tells me that the knowledge has been brought to us.
Yes.
Now the question is, who did bring this knowledge to us? I don't know. It was somebody more advanced than Homo sapiens at that place. Is it possible that it was also Homo sapiens, that some of them were advanced, some of them were not advanced, they were stupid? It is possible. Look at today. You go to Papua New Guinea or to the jungles of Amazon, people still living in the Stone Age. But in New York, you have people in digital world. So it's a big difference.
Yes.
It's one possibility.
Yeah.
The second possibility, Guy, you know, we think that what we see, that's all of the world. And that's wrong. We see less than 1% what's really happening around us. 99% we don't see. We don't see souls. We don't see ghosts. We don't see extraterrestrials if they are there. We don't see orbs. We don't see all kinds of spiritual entities. We don't see them. Is it possible that some of them had abilities to build structures in our world? I would say it is possible. I don't know if they were builders, but it is possible.
Yeah, they must
Now,
be.
you mentioned also a very important point, that maybe some other civilization from the other planet came to our planet. Now, as you know, majority of scientists today claim that extraterrestrials don't exist. They claim also that we are the only form of the intelligent life in the universe. You know, 50 years from now, people will be laughing at us what we believed. To believe that we are only intelligent form, just in our galaxy, Milky Way, there are at least 400 billion stars. And our star system is just one of them.
Yes, correct.
In our universe, there are hundreds and hundreds of billions of galaxies. So imagine how many different forms of life the Creator has created. I think many, many, many.
And you can
before
find so
our
many
civilization even started, so many other civilizations on different solar systems were reaching the peaks and disappearing. And we are among the latest civilizations. And to claim that we are the only intelligent life, it's really senseless. So, yes.
Dr. Sam, like you visited so many pyramids. Did you ever experience life in those pyramids? Or did you like feel, oh my God, I'm not alone right now? Or
What I
Or are some of them still inhabited, right?
Okay, what I discovered is the following. On some sites, there are very interesting artifacts that were obviously not made by humans. And just a few minutes ago, I was checking my shelf and I saw one of those artifacts. And what I'm going to do as exclusive for this interview is to show you the artifact which is not made by Homo sapiens.
Okay, wow.
It is discovered in Mexico.
Yes.
And in their state of Ojuelos. And over there, in the last 50, 60 years, they discovered 7 big caves on the top of the mountains. And they discovered about 22,000 artifacts built from granite and hard volcanic stone. And they show beings with elongated skull, with elongated eyes, in some type of the suit, which is obviously from cosmonauts, from the astronauts, even with some rounded space vehicles, and with some very strange beings. Okay, now I'm going to show it to you. Can you see this?
Lizard reptilians.
One is lizard, yes. But if you look closer,
dinosaurs.
You will see here elongated head.
Yes, absolutely.
Elongated head with the person most probably sitting in the space vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
This is three-dimensional art.
Yes.
When you look more in the back, there are more beings.
Oh. Yeah, there are so many.
At the bottom.
Yeah.
And you found that in some pyramid or like?
No, this was in Mexico near the pyramid sites. So now we are finding some artifacts that are made, you know when? 16,000 years ago.
Amazing.
This is granite. Now, this is not made manually. All these lines, they have the same depth. If it is the same depth, it means they had to be machined.
Machines, yes.
Who had machines?
16,000
years ago. Or maybe they used some type of laser. And you see how the eyes, the same depth of the holes. I mean, if you're doing manually, you make mistakes, you have to trash it.
But that's the same with,
there is no mistake.
That's the same with cathedrals, right? And all these other pyramids, they all the same. They all symmetrical with no mistake whatsoever.
In southern Egypt, there is a place called Abu Simbel. It is a temple. Egyptologists think that it was built by Ramesses II in the 19th dynasty, so it is 3,300 years ago, and that's completely wrong. He did not have tools to make that. There are 4 huge statues sitting in the front of this temple. Now, what Ramesses II did, he had people carved his signs called cartouche with his name. So people in the future will think that he made it. He wanted to make himself great. It was made much before. Why I mentioned Abu Simbel? There are beautiful faces of those 4 persons. And when you draw the line exactly in the middle of the face, the middle of the nose, middle of the mouth, and then on the computer, you fold it, the eyes perfectly match each other. Egyptologists are saying it was made manually, one person here, one person there. There is no way that you can make such a huge eyes, bigger than humans, bigger than 2 meters, with such perfection that they completely match.
Amazing.
They had to be machined.
Amazing. Yes.
How we would do it? We would take AutoCAD, computer-aided design, and then we would cut it with the laser. Somebody had very advanced technology.
Absolutely.
We are not the first advanced civilization on the planet, and we are not alone in the universe.
Absolutely. If we are looking, there were in the past so many artifacts also of giants being found all over the world. I was 2 weeks ago in Romania, Bespreekt Mountains and so on. And in the neighborhood, they found also some graves from giants, but it's all been hidden. And the moment that they find it, they all put it away because it's not in line with what the people that we want to believe.
When it comes to the question of giants, you see, I'm scientist, open-minded, but scientist. I like to see arguments. I like to see, facts. In the 19th century, the Smithsonian Institute was established. And this is a premium scientific and museum institution in the United States and in the world. And people see the museums, they can see a lot of artifacts, but in reality, the Smithsonian Institute was established to hide the major artifacts from humans. In the 19th century, they have formed teams of people who would go and they would destroy a lot of tumuli, so tumulus complexes. They would destroy a lot of pyramids. They would destroy a lot of other structures, which they called mounds. And there was an interview in 1884 for the Chicago Daily. And the journalist asked one of the team leaders, what was their purpose? He said, well, we go to the site, we destroy the tumulus, or we destroy the mound. Whatever we found below, we ship to Smithsonian in Washington. So they put it in the underground warehouse. And now we know that nobody sees that no more. And among artifacts were many of the giants. And they were 3, 3.5, 4, even 5 meters in height. So they discovered a lot of skeletons belonging to either different civilization, even different species, but to somebody who had nothing to do with the Homo sapiens. So we think that the major museums are here to help us, to educate us, and they are basically hiding the information and knowledge from us, and this is shame.
That's why I don't go there anymore. Like I'm not interested because I know, But where do we find the truth?
Now, the truth, you need to combine every possible source. You go to the site, think, date, analyze. Museums are still good. Some museums, like in Peru, there is a Ica museum, the place called Ica. You can see the skulls of humans, and you can see some elongated skulls. So it's still not forbidden to show them. So this is very important. There are some private museums, also in Peru and Mexico, where they have thousands of artifacts like this one here. So very important is the oral tradition. When people talk about it, and some other people write that in the books. So, you need to combine different sources. But I think it's still the most important is to what we do in Bosnia, to do the archaeological digging, to use geophysical methods of scanning, georadar, geothermal analysis, satellite analysis, then to use different methods to figure out the age. And in our case, when you mentioned pyramids and the communication, you see, we have had 5 international teams from different countries, Croatia, Serbia, Finland, Italy, and Germany, who measured existence of energy beam on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. This energy beam is 28 kilohertz in frequency. It is electrical in nature. It starts with a 4.5 meter diameter. It expands to 20 coming back to 4.5, 20, 4.5, 20, and it's getting stronger as it moves away from the pyramid. In science, this phenomenon is called the scalar waves. According to the genius mind of Nikola Tesla from 125 years ago, the scalar waves move quicker than the speed of light. And it has been confirmed by the work of the Russian physicists the last 50 years. So the first potential purpose of pyramid energy is actually the communication. So imagine, like you mentioned, or like you speculated, that if the pyramids are on this planet, they are probably on some other planet. So now imagine if you have pyramids on different planets with energy beams, they communicate, and they form a cosmic network, which we can call cosmic internet.
Absolutely. If I can add towards this, it's okay, a method that I have been used over, let's say, 20, 25 years ago, but it has been developed all over the time. And I'm working with a pyramid energy, but a double pyramid, an octaeder, and octahedron. And okay, let's say I'm in the center of this double pyramid and I'm extending it up to the cosmos, but then I'm contracting it up to the smallest point of myself, and that's going also through the other universe, let's say, through the quantum physics. And if I'm working with that kind of energy, I can come much quicker to all kind of insights. I'm amplifying my own energy even, because I was using that also as a kind of protection field against ostrich males who were attacking me when I was collecting the eggs. But the point is, that kind of energy of the pyramid was bringing me much deeper in my own consciousness. I can call it, I call it the deep space, but some people call it the quantum fields. And if you are, I can compare it a little bit. Let's say, if you are becoming awake and you are in a kind of stage between sleeping and being awake, and on that moment you can be in a high state of consciousness. But if you are becoming too sleepy, then you are falling in sleep, and then you are not getting information. If you are becoming too awake, then you are too much awake. But if you are then in that pyramid, really in that pyramid, and you feel the pyramid inside yourself, you are going so much further in that quantum field. And when you are, let's say, again in this quantum space-time, that kind of information is unfolding it afterwards. So for me, that kind of pyramid energy is getting information on deeper information fields where it's more difficult to get information. And it's protecting that kind of information as well, so that you can unfold it in your own consciousness. And that I can find a little bit back in what you were saying, that the pyramids are amplifying the energy. Because when it's amplifying that energy, you can heal, in fact, also, of course, yourself. But if you are going in that energy field in the pyramids, then that energy is even becoming stronger. And I've learned a lot by being under the tunnels and on the pyramids. I've learned a lot about my own method, and I'm trying to integrate these two experiences, let's say. It's very interesting. Yeah.
That's great. You know, deep relaxing state is called theta state, from 4 to 7 hertz. And then light meditative state from 8 hertz up. And what we measure in the tunnels is 7.83, just between those two very important frequencies, 7.83. So it is not too deep that you fall asleep. It is not too light that your ratio, your mind contaminate your thoughts. So it is ideal for spiritual activities, for the meditations, for the astral projections. So you are completely right. And besides, we humans, we are exactly halfway from macro and micro cosmos, micro-universe.
Yes.
So from us to the whole universe, it's so big space, like it is big from us all the way to the tiniest parts. So we are exactly halfway. So we humans are really miracle in the universe. I agree with that also.
Absolutely. I compare it a little bit with the matrushkas, you know, a small puppet within a puppet. And our physical body is the smallest puppy, but we have much bigger puppies. Of course, you cannot see that kind of body, but if that body, yes, you have it there, but if that body is becoming, let's say, a body of the pyramid, it's like that body is becoming much stronger. So it's expanding a lot and it's contracting a lot. And in that expansion and contraction, there is a lot of exchange of energy and information. And that you can do, of course, on the level of the location on the pyramid, but of course also on the level of the earth and the cosmos. And
let me give you a scientific explanation for that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned octahedron. That's very important. You have one pyramid above and one pyramid below. When you have one pyramid above, we concluded that the pyramid generates this field, energy beam going through the top. But at the same time, pyramid is not only the transmitter, the pyramid is an antenna. It receives information and they go from the pyramid below. So you have constant two-way movement of the energy and movement of the information.
Absolutely.
So the ancients were smart.
Absolutely. And that's what my feeling was when I was walking on the pyramids. I had really the feeling that it's so important to feel also the pyramid going downwards. By doing that, it was like the energy, the interaction between the energy of the pyramid and the humans was more grounded, let's say. And that's very important.
You are right. And in our case, the pyramid goes all the way to the bottom of the valley. And over there, you have river, you have houses, you have town of Visoko. We cannot dig there, in other words. But I had some spiritual people who claim that, yes, the pyramids, first of all, goes below the ground. And then there is another pyramid below the ground, which does not necessarily have been physical pyramid. It can be an energy pyramid.
Absolutely.
So, you know, to get this geometrical shape, it's not always our physical senses, our eyesight that has to see two pyramids. But maybe we can simply feel or we can measure this phenomenon. But, you know, we think that our science is the top, that we can measure everything. We cannot. If you don't know what to measure, then you have not made a scientific instrument for that. If you know to measure electromagnetic field, electrical field, ultrasound, you have instruments. But there are some other forms of the energy that we don't know about, and we don't have instruments to measure them.
Absolutely. It's like this. I don't know if you can see it. It's that way. You can see.
Yes, exactly.
It's that
exactly.
way.
You are completely right.
And you know, the funny thing was 20 years ago, because it came true. I had a kind of interaction with a light ball, a big light ball, and from there all that information came. The pyramid, the double pyramid, the tower of transformation, I call it in that time. But there was a moment in about 2002 when I was asking to the cosmos. It was a moment that I was doubting a little bit, am I going in the right way or not? And I was asking for a sign, if I was correct with the double pyramid. And I didn't remember me dream, but on the moment that I waked up, I opened my door and I saw eyes. I say, okay, there in that eyes, there is the answer. And it was exactly, you know, the way how I was always signing, let's say, my double pyramid in a flat projection. It was like this. And that was exactly projected in the eyes. It was amazing. And not only that, the right corner of that pyramid was always a little bit higher than the left one. It was just in the way how I was designing it. And that was also the projection in the eyes, exactly like that. So, and that gave me a lot of boost, let's say, to go further on this path. And so the energy which I felt also in that place, in that location in Bosnia, Savidovici, you know, the spheric stones, that gave me also a very strong energy. And there was somewhere, I felt a connection between the spheric stones and the pyramids. What is according to you? Or is there a connection according to you?
There is. There is a new science called biogeometry. Our friend Ibrahim Karim, PhD from Egypt, he developed that science that explains the effects of the geometry to energy fields. He concluded 3 most powerful shapes are the shape of 4-sided pyramid, conical, and spherical.
Okay.
They all amplify the energies.
Exactly.
Why those stone balls in central Bosnia are always near the water, water flows? Because water moves energy. The balls, if they are in bigger concentration, 2, 5, 20, or 80, it was 80 at one place in Zavidovici, they would amplify those energies. It was like a small power plant.
Exactly.
And then you have tumulus, they are like middle-sized power plant. And if you have big pyramids, they are the biggest power plants. So they amplifies the energy. It's up to us how we're going to use it. Communication is one way. Protection of our health is a very important way. Improvement of the molecular structure of the water, like we witness in Bosnia, is very important way. Improvement of the food and the plants, very important. Improvement of our immunity. This is the key word today. It's not a vaccine or this, and it's immunity. Everybody's going to get sick. And then the question is immunity. The next thing is our auric fields. You go to the tunnels, your auric field is getting much bigger and stronger. We are more protected. Our chakras, 7 chakras, they come back to the balance after you visit the tunnels. Our spiritual abilities, abilities to feel the energy, to see the energy, to communicate with the thoughts, they are becoming more vivid and more potential. So the pyramid energy is not used for one dead body like they teach us in schools. They were used for the living communities. They were used to advance our life.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
this is what they try to hide.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, you have the physical pyramid, but in our own conscious, it's static, let's say, but in our own conscious, we can turn the double pyramid. And when it's turning, a double pyramid which is turning is becoming a ball. It's a ball, it's a spheric ball. And okay, it's my own hypothesis, but I had very much the feeling, in fact, one of our people who were with us during that travel to Bosnia, he did a picture and it was like light was coming out of the ball. But that was before, in the first moment that I reached that place and I saw the balls, it was like, it was once a light ball which materialized itself into a ball on the basis of the physical material available. Let's say that light ball could scan the material in the environment, could absorb that information, and the light ball could materialize itself into a lower vibration so that it became solid. That's my own hypothesis, but okay.
This is very interesting. It is very possible. You know, everything is alive. I mean, we think that the water is not alive. The water is made very much alive because the water vibrates. When you talk to the water, if you talk nicely, it is going to change the molecular structure.
Yes.
If the water is contaminated, it's going to give us an ugly molecular structure. If the water is treated by poisons like chlorine what they put in our water,
Yeah.
by the fluoride, which they put in our water, traces of heavy metals, traces of plastic. That water is energetically dead.
Yes,
The
yes.
water from the pyramids in Bosnia, from our tunnels, it has a hexagonal molecular shape. Hexagon is the most powerful geometrical shape. We can see crystal-like molecular structure. I call it happy water, energetically alive.
Exactly.
This is structured water.
It's living
This
water.
is high vibrating water.
Yes, and you can feel it because we still have the water from Bosnia here. And when you drink it, you can feel the power of that water. It's really energy that you're drinking. It makes you alive because the water is alive. And if you would drink, I do not drink more tap water, but in case I would drink the tap water, it's so flat.
You must heat it up then.
You can feel it immediately.
Yes.
One more question.
I have also a deep question,
yes?
but you can go first.
Okay, I'm also very excited by the inner earth. Do you see a connection, or do you see possibilities that there are even pyramids in the inner earth, or also civilizations? What's your opinion on that?
There are some witnesses from 100 years ago, 140 years ago, or 80, 90 years ago, telling us about possible entrances to the inner earth from both poles, North Pole and South Pole. And today, it is supposed to be closed, those poles. Personally, I don't know. I haven't been there, but it is possible. We can see some interesting features, especially Northern Pole, Northern Lights, that for me does not have very good explanations. Is it possible that our planet is hollow? I think it is possible that our planet and most of the other planets in our solar systems are hollow. Either they are all solid or they are all hollow because of certain values and certain distance from the sun and certain speed around the sun. So they have to have common elements. However, there are also some bodies that are different. For example, our moon is different. It moves differently, like it wasn't there naturally, like somebody placed it there. Now there is this moon, the Jupiter moon called the Europe, which is also different. It looks like a huge artificial object. So our solar system is very interesting. It's not really investigated yet. But coming back to the hollow Earth, ideas that inside there is actually a huge central sun, which gives warmth and light to the hollow earth, would make the idea of the life inside the earth very, very possible. Is it possible that we have different species than humans? It is very possible. Is it possible that they vibrate much, much higher? It is also possible. Is it possible that they are much, much longer than humans? Yes. Is it possible that some of the species, including dinosaurs, have moved, some of them, in the hollow earth, and in the meantime, through the evolution, they became even smarter than humans? That's also possible. Is it possible that they make flying saucers, space vehicles, in the hollow earth, and then they fly through our atmosphere? It is also possible. It's just that, we need independently verified information. If U.S. Army or U.S. counterintelligence or U.S. intelligence or U.S. rogue element of army know something, they don't want to share with us. If some Russian agencies know something, they don't want to share with us. So again, I think it's a shame because we humans, we have right to know everything that's happening on our planet, inside, if it is hollow, and so on. So I would leave that with the question mark, and I would say there is a possibility for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes, the Lost Scriptures of Giza. I researched it from Archaeologists, which is also an independent researcher, which stands for our Advanced Research of Chronicle History of Artificial Intelligence X. And he researched this Giza pyramids, and he all discovered 138. And if you do the research, he concluded that every 138 years, this world resets from a lot of disasters, which then they can, rebuild the world. This is how, some type of crazy thing happens every 138 years. And he concluded that this pyramid of Giza is connected to that protocol that is installed into this matrix where this all resets every 138 years. So do you think that maybe also the pyramid of Bosnia or the pyramid of Giza, that they are advanced machines where they are being used by the gods from this world, Enlil and Enki from the Anunnaki, that kind of created us in order for us to work for them? Or how would you see these pyramids actually as rather machines? Or yeah, I'm curious on your opinion about that.
I think that the pyramids are the ancient technology, number one. Number two, the pyramids were built by smarter intelligence, higher intelligence than ours. So they were using natural materials, and they were getting some amazing effects. Number three, the pyramids are multi-layered when it comes to purpose. For example, standing on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, you can use it as the astronomical observatory during different times: spring equinox, summer solstice, fall equinox, winter solstice, and so on. You can follow the shadow and so on. But this is just one of them. I mentioned communication, health protection, and very possible that those ancient builders were using pyramids for the rejuvenation.
What is that?
We use rejuvenation to make it younger, or to stay forever young. Now, we know that, when it comes to our brain can live about 220 or 250 years. But our bodies are 60, 70, 80, 90 years, 100 years at the most. And then we die. Why do we die? We could live 3 times longer, but because of all the poisons that they use against us. Food industry, drink industry, chemicals, they spray us from above, and so on and so forth. But still, a couple of 100 years is not much. And according to many testimonials, according to, let's say, Turin King list, we can see that gods 40,000 years ago, they would live 1,000 years each. 1,000 years. Now, that's much more than 80 years. So they are obviously not much older than us, but they are much smarter, technologically much more developed. Is it possible that among other purposes, the pyramids were used to stabilize the planet, to stabilize the frequencies of the planet? It is also possible. Hypothetically, if you build pyramids around a volcano, instead of one big volcanic eruption, you could get just a series of smaller eruptions, so it won't disturb the civilization too much. If you build the pyramids along those lines where you have many earthquakes, like California or Philippines or Japan or some others, they would, make, instead of one big or two big earthquakes, they would make a series of very small earthquakes. And this is not just a hypothesis. On the island of Sicily, there are 43 pyramids. They are like half-circle pyramids built from the volcanic stone around the volcano of Etna. So they prevent this volcano to erupt very strongly and kill many people. So I think that the ancients knew that pyramids were so advanced and sophisticated machines. And we, humans, we will just discover that in the future. So we are not very smart.
Absolutely, I agree to that. Absolutely, I can feel it, or I can see it also in my own life by using the pyramid energy. it's something on the pyramid energy that you can go deeper into the higher dimensions. And by going into these higher dimensions and you are coming back, it's like you're bringing the energy and information from the quantum world. And in the quantum world, there is all the information that you need to solve problems or to solve issues, whatever your intention might be. If you want to rejuvenate, or if you want to increase your energy, or you want to become, or you want to receive more insights, it's all the same. It's in that quantum field. And the pyramidical energy is helping us to go deeper into that field. And by working with this pyramid energy, and I will organize more and more travels to Bosnia in order to learn to the people easier to use those energies. But it's not a way of just feeling them or thinking on them. It's not a visualization. You have to become the space. You have to become that energy. And if you're going then into that quantum field, it creates a lot. And the pyramid energy, on one way or another, is penetrating deeper those different dimensions.
Good, excellent.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes. Okay.
Pyramid energies.
Pyramid energy. So, Dr. Sam, what can you tell us more? How the people can contact you? I know that you have also beautiful programs in Bosnia, working with volunteers and so on. It's very exciting to work as a volunteer and to work on a good purpose, on a good goal. So can you tell us something more about it? How people can reach you, how people can help you and assist you?
Yes. Every year from June to October, we receive volunteers who can work with us, who can dig with us, who can work on pyramids, who can work in tunnels. Just like I said, 10 days ago, we had a group of volunteers coming from different countries who discovered the new tunnel, which we call Ravne 6 tunnel. So next time you come, you will be able to visit those tunnels.
It will be the end of December.
Okay. So over there, there's about 60, 70 meters open section. And we enter it on October 4th. And we were the first humans after thousands of years who enter it. And volunteers discover it. So there is an invitation for everyone to come June, July, August, September, October, 3 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. It's up to them. Well, we don't provide accommodation, but they can find very cheap accommodation in the Visoko through the booking.com.
Yes.
And, they can come to our festivals in June or July. We have sport events, we have tennis cups, we have beach volleyball, we have basketball, we have meditations, we have yoga, we have music, we have dance, we have tango festivals, we have salsa festivals, we have folklores, we have all kinds of stuff. Beautiful atmosphere, no discrimination, everyone is welcome. Now, there are different ways. Our social media, YouTube channel is Bosnian Pyramids TV, Bosnian Pyramids TV. We have stuff in English and in Bosnian language. My Instagram, Sam Osmanagich, or a couple of Facebook pages, Bosnian Pyramids, or my name, Sam Osmanagich. So people can find us and they can get the contact info. And we are open every day of the year, 365 days a year.
Excellent.
So people can come in the summer when there is a lot of action. They can come in the winter when it's much quieter. But then the concentration of healing negative ions are the biggest in the winter time. So whenever you come, you will do the right thing.
Okay, that's fine. And you will come also to Belgium.
Yes.
You will have a tour of about 1 month through different countries in Europe. Here in Belgium, you will be on the 25th and the 24th. If you can tell something more about that.
Yes, I'm going to do a promotional tour in March of 2024 from Bosnia to Croatia to Slovenia, then Slovakia, Czech Republic, then all the way to Sweden, on my way back to Denmark, Copenhagen, Aarhus, the island of Moon, then to Netherlands for a week, and then for a couple of days in Belgium. I'm hoping to have 2 nice presentations. and then on my way back, Germany, Austria, and Slovenia again. So I want to promote this stuff. I want people to know. It's up to them if they're going to come or not. But if they do, they will have a wonderful time.
That's another question for the watchers, because most people, you know, they are like, but why would I care, right, about this history? Yeah, they're like, I don't care, bro. Let me just do my life, right?
And
why would I care?
People make choices in their life to be educated or uneducated. People make choices to figure out what is the mission in their life or not to know. So they can say, why should I care what is my mission in the life? Why should I care, you know, if I'm going to achieve anything or not? Why should I care if I'm helping and sharing with other people? Why should I care? So it is up to them. But, you know, we are all at different vibrations, at different levels. So it is okay. It's freedom of choice. But more you learn, more you share, more you experience, more you spiritually progress. When your consciousness is on higher and higher level, then you enjoy more. You enjoy this experience. You don't fear. So you live differently. But again, it's up to every one of us what we're going to choose and how we're going to live.
And maybe, you know, like we can only progress forwardly as a species if we know what really happened in the past, because the history gets written by the people that win, and the people that won were like Illuminati Anunnaki or whatever it was. I don't know.
But it's indeed important, and we at least we will follow your work, Dr. Sam, all what you're doing, because there will be much more discoveries in the next 2-3 years. I'm sure of that. You will become very close, I think, within a few years to go towards the entrance, perhaps even of the pyramid. Who knows?
Yes.
Let's cross the fingers. But for sure, for me, it's very important, and also the people I know, the more they know about their history, but their true history, then you know all about your full potential. And if you know about your full potential, then there is it's much easier to grow towards that potential. And that will for sure create a better world. And you're a very important person, let's say, in that process, in order to make the people more aware of that. I thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you, Dan.
for this podcast and your wonderful work. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Excellent.
Give a like, subscribe, join the tribe, and till we may see us again soon.
Yes. Well, it's about one hour, 20 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
Really, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you.
Okay. Well done. Thank you very much. And then I'll see you in March.
Yes, in March. But if I have enough people, I will come also between the 25th of.
And you come in December. Please come.
I'm coming. I'm coming also.
But for sure, I will organize about 2-3 tours to Bosnia next year. So for sure.
Okay. Great.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Dr. Sam.